Do some College Corner.
College Corner.
Okay, we're looking at 3 spots that I love for various reasons. Reminder, if you have not seen this program throughout college football season into college hoop season, Dimers has a ton of college sports best bets available every single day. Now that it's college hoop season, there's basically games 7 days a week until the conclusion of the Final Four in Indianapolis. And I'm watching and betting these games every night. I'm building my own cards. What I do is pair the bets that are already on my card with what I see in the model's best bets tab. Anytime that we have overlap there, it usually leads to some success. And we've got 3 of them tonight, beginning with Vanderbilt -6.5 against Kentucky. I think this is the ultimate sell high spot on a Kentucky team who really has a lot of issues that are being covered up right now by the simple fact that they have won 5 consecutive games. This was the team that started 9-6 overall, 0-2 in SEC play. Since then, they've beaten Mississippi State, LSU, Tennessee, Texas, and Ole Miss. 3 of those teams are at the very bottom of the SEC standings. The Tennessee win may age well. It may not. The bottom line is this. They haven't really played a true contender in this stretch where they have, quote unquote, gotten right. Meanwhile, more guys have dropped like flies on the injury bug for Kentucky. Cam Williams is now out indefinitely. They're still missing Jaden Quaintance, the starting center. They're still missing Jalen Lowe for the year, the starting point guard. I just think they've been able, and give Mark Pope credit, to almost put like a paper bag over a broken window, and nobody's noticed that it's broken. And here comes the team I think is the best team in the SEC. It's Vanderbilt, who's been pretty flawless at home. They had a bad stretch just a couple weeks ago, but they really rounded out the ship nicely, putting 88 points on Mississippi State over the weekend. I think Vanderbilt's just better. They're a really tough cover for a banged-up Kentucky team, and I'd be surprised if Vandy doesn't pull away and win by double digits. Game number 2 tonight is a big, fun rivalry game in Big Ten country, Purdue against Indiana, and Purdue is as desperate as this Braden Smith-led Purdue team can get. They have lost 2 straight games. That has very rarely happened in this 4-year run of dominance for Purdue. Reminder, this was the preseason number 1 team coming into the season. All of their issues have been on the defensive side of the ball, and I think this is a matchup where they can outscore their way to a win. Indiana really leans on Lamar Wilkerson and Tucker DeVries to be a 2-headed monster offensively, but I think Purdue's got enough individual perimeter defenders that can hang with those guys, and Indiana doesn't really have the front court players needed to exploit the things that Illinois just exploited last week. So I'm looking at Purdue to really respond. I thought it would come against Illinois over the weekend. Ultimately, 46 points from Keaton Wagler for Illinois was enough to go toe-to-toe and win in Mackey Arena. But I just can't envision this Purdue team losing 3 straight games at this point in the season, let alone to their in-state rival in game 1 of the Darren DeVries era. Give me Purdue to spoil Kurt Signetti night at Assembly Hall. And then the final game of the College Corner tonight is another SEC game. We're going to Alabama against Tennessee. We're going to take the Tide minus the big number here. It's -10.5. And this is one of the higher probability plays according to our best bets model tonight. It's a 4% edge, a 56% probability that they cover 10.5. And Alabama is banged up, almost like Kentucky was. However, most of their injuries are minor. They're not season ending. They were sort of the bad karma story of the sport this past week because Nate Oates took a flyer on Charles Bediako, who is currently an NBA G Leaguer, and he is now playing. He got a court order to be able to play for Alabama that's been extended 10 more days. They lost at home to Tennessee after pulling this move, which was just shocking, quite frankly. But I think it spoke to a couple starters being out, Amari Allen and Aiden Holloway in that game. If they get those guys back, I think that this Alabama team should respond. And I miswrote this on the outline. It's actually Missouri they're playing, not Tennessee. I was looking at their last game. So if you're looking at this like -10.5 against Tennessee, don't worry, it's Missouri, a much more beat-upable team. Missouri's been really good against the bottom teams in this conference. They have really not held up well when they have to go up against the best of the best in the country. Case in point being a 20-point loss to Kansas, a 43-point loss to Illinois on a neutral earlier this season. If you have offensive stars, which Alabama has in LeBaron and Philon, you can get whatever you want against this Missouri defense. And I think they need a bounce back, given that they just lost to Tennessee. It would be a shocker for Alabama to not play to their ceiling 2 games in a row. So add them together. We're on 3 favorites tonight. I think 2 of the 3 are in a really desperate need to win, play your best spot. And then the third is a simple Kentucky fade. It's Vanderbilt, Purdue, and Alabama to cover the spread.
Awesome stuff, Greg. Thank you.
As always, my friend, and make sure you like and subscribe to the show. We want to grow this as big as we can. 5-star reviews really help us. Leave a comment. Even just a simple like on anything you see in YouTube or in your social feeds would help us continue to get this where we want it to go.